I thank Blanche and the Hawke family for giving me the great honour of speaking today and for sharing Bob Hawke with the nation over such a long period of time. How do you measure a giant? Bob Hawke was not towering physically, but somehow he seemed bigger than all of us. He was Australia amplified, but he almost wasn't part of our lives at all. Bob's journey towards the light began with a moment of darkness, a blackout that turned a motorbike ride into a brush with death. Granted what he saw as a second chance, the young Bob vowed that his life wasn't going to be wasted, not a minute, and it certainly wasn't. Using his talents and living life to the full was the Hawke way, not least in his heart. He loved Australians and they loved him back. It was indeed a national romance. He loved us together because he understood that our greatest strengths flow from unity. He reached out, he listened, he learned, he encouraged, and he dared us to be a better nation. He knew that Australia was great, but it was a greatness that he wanted to build on. He wanted to protect us from those who sought to divide us. If ever there was a man who could appeal to our better angels, it was Bob. Do you know why I have credibility, he once asked? Because I don't exude morality. Yet, when he was up against those forces of division, his moral compass did not waver. Beneath that cloud of hair, the sunshine would give way to lightning and to thunder. But the sunshine always returned, and his positivity changed the nation for the better. His government advanced economic reform. It entrenched social reform, including Medicare. It promoted gender equality, and it stands unchallenged as the greatest ever protector of our natural environment. Bob, as we know, was no shrinking violet. After a conversation with Margaret Thatcher in 1983, he reported to the media that she thought they would both be around for a while in their respective positions. She's certainly right in one respect, he modestly observed. With 4 consecutive election victories, Bob taught Labor through action, not just words, what it takes to truly transform our nation. He understood the essential ingredient for achieving visionary reform, bringing the people with you. If Bob had any ambitions before that fateful crash, they certainly didn't survive, nor any sense of limitation. He was ambitious, though, not just for himself, he was ambitious for our nation. Bob was Labor to the core of his being, but his heart was too big to be contained by party lines. Just because you didn't vote for Bob didn't mean that you were beyond his love. And I think the presence of so many people from across the political spectrum today is testament to that. At once, he was our leader and our cheerleader. He governed for all Australians, truly. Even after the Lodge, he energetically continued to live life to the full. So while we join Blanche and Bob's family in mourning him, we give thanks for him. And in our sadness, we remember his wisdom to a young girl who'd chosen the Prime Minister as the person with whom to share her grief over the death of her grandmother. This is what Bob wrote. I think you should try not to think about dying, but think about all the nice things around you that make life so precious to us all. It's an attitude when I was with Bob and Blanche at the end of last year, he certainly continued to express. So farewell, Robert James Lee Hawke. Farewell, Bob. You go with the nation's gratitude. You go with the nation's respect and you go with the nation's love.